to some extreme headache where I can't even function and my head is just spinning. I was like, this is not fun. Why is this not fun no more? And then we end up, I go see the kid. Let me get that out. And you just sit and you just smoke all day. You be so high, you be so bent, everything be so heavy, you just can't move. You go out in public, you're like a zombie, you smell like weed. Like, oh my God, girl, get a life. Like, I do have a life. I should just get back to that life right now. And then I go for years in silence. Go for years. Nobody hears from me on the internet. Nobody hears from me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, nothing. And then I pop up with a podcast, and then I expect to just instantly connect to the social culture. So many dues you have to pay. There's so many dues expected of you. I don't know. It's different. It's different. I remember I went through this phase for about 8 years, about 5 or 7 years, when I bought every movie I loved on Amazon. I used to go through Amazon. I used to search for every movie I loved as a kid, like from The Never-Ending Story to not Breakfast at Tiffany's, Weird Science or The Breakfast Club, and I would just buy all these freaking movies and have them sent to the house until I had this big bag full of movies. And then I finally just took the DVDs out, threw the cases away, and just bought this huge DVD carrier. Went through that a lot. God, I can taste alcohol. It feels good. God, it feels good. And I think that's what it is. I'm just dying for a normal interaction. Just a normal day in somebody else's life. I think I'm crying for, like, what would you do on your normal day? Like, if you was here, if I was with so-and-so, if you was here, it would just be, we wouldn't leave the house. We would eat, drink a little bit, have sex, watch TV, have sex. Just have sex all day in between TV and eating. What else is there to do? Drink a little bit. Like, that sounds like a good-ass day. That really does. And that's maybe normal for somebody. For somebody, that's all they do is have sex all day and eat and play video games. And that's their normal day. I was like, my normal day for me is sitting in the bedroom with my mom, helping her out, cooking and running to the store. That's my normal day all day. So I don't know any other activity outside of that. And I've been unemployed for 2 years. Then what if it gets to the point where I never work again for the rest of my life? And I end up on like disability because of my arthritis. And then I'm my mother's caretaker, so I can make a little money on the side doing that. Or working for Amazon Turk and just pulling enough money to keep my bills paid and my head above water. And I never ever return to the outside world. And the rest of my life I do the same thing over and over and over. And a part of me cries for that. For like that normal day in somebody else's life. And then they don't know anything else. And they come in my world, they're like, this is what you do all day? I'm like, oh, you thought I was living some extravagant life. I was like, no, I shop a lot. I was like, I do shop a lot. And I have a lot of clothes, but that doesn't mean I'm, out living my life in these brand new clothes. Half of these clothes I'm going to give away, and I haven't even worn them yet. I bought like $2,000 worth of clothes, and I didn't even wear any of them. I had all these skirts and stuff from Loft and Ann Taylor and all these outfits from Ashley Stewart, and they were cute at the time, but I never wore them. And I ended up giving them to the Salvation Army, and I've done that twice already. Beautiful, beautiful clothes, never worn. Not even once. They ended up going right to the Salvation, or I only wore them once. They ended up going to the Salvation Army, and that was it. Yeah, but that type of normal day with me, it would be good, not because I'm cheap, but because my normal day is so abstract from what theirs is. It would have to start there, or at least end there at some point. Like, Isha, I want to take you on a date. Okay, let's go somewhere to eat. I want to go to the movies, or I want to take you to this place or that place. They're doing this type of a church thing. I want to go with you. But like, cool. And then it gets to the point where he experienced my normal day and I experienced his. He's like, I would love to sit in the room with your mom all day and just talk and watch YouTube. I was like, cool. And then that ends up happening. And then he was like, I want you to come chill with me all day. And then his day happened. And then all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I love traveling between these two normalcies. Like, I love chilling with you and we do us all day. And then we can come to my mom's house and we can do this all day and it's just as cool. Like, this is cool. I can do that. It's like an escape from a normal to a normal. And then you're not so stressed out because your body gets to break in two equal places. It's not just me here and then little sections of my brain are buzzed out because it's broken in this person's house and that person's job and this person's baby mama house. And then I'm just spent all over the place and I just can't break healthily in two places like I used to. And back then, it used to just be between my mom's house and my grandma's house. I was just broken in two places, or between here and sports at school. And now it's just like a little bit of my brain in ShopRite, a little bit of my brain at my cousin's house, a little bit of my brain at this person's house. 50 Cent got a little piece over here, and I'm just all over the goddamn place with it. And I wake up in this fuzz storm every day. And all these people, like a whole bunch of little TV screens in front of me, and all these people's lives are happening in these little windows. I'm crying for a day, like one day with him all alone, the whole day. Oh wow, never gonna happen though. He's a far deeply married man with way too many kids that I'll never know about. And God willing, if I could have a normal day with him, it would be a very blessed normal day. Okay, I'm making it hard for myself. Because if his girlfriend or wife could hear me saying the things I say about him, she'd probably hate my guts too. Tell that bitch stay away from my house. Or I cut her. Some crazy stuff like that. You can't impress black people. There's two types of black people always looking for the next high. It's like, you're not gonna get the next high from me. I'm interesting, but I'm very neutral. I have a certain class of black people that love me, and it's because they live the exact same life that I live. A lot of them, they stay at home and they take care of their mother or father too, and they have no life because they may be running from something too. And they love me because I match their energy. And then there's people who, they love my energy, but they want me to turn my energy up a notch and then bring it outside. I'm like, I am in my 40s with issues. Where do you think I'm going with this? And it's like, it's not like if I had a sex life to tell you about, that's one thing. If I was out here on Grindr and Tinder smashing random dudes, and then all these podcasts is all my sexual escapades, that's one thing. But if I'm not doing all these things, it's your imagination that's requiring something from me that is just not a part of my reality. And then it ends up being, why don't you just did it with so-and-so? I'm like, that is a different context. I'm like, you're really pulling this, our experience and the nature I know them from, way out of fucking context. It's way out of context. It's never, I'm just one of thousands of people who have met him in that same context. It's just that our experience was specialized for some reason. And people fucking, we call that, they ruin it, they taint it, they corrupt it. You can't even reminisce on it anymore because it just brings up bad debts and things all over the place. I mean, it's not like back in Benel. Has so many frequent road trips, it's ridiculous. 3 years of volleyball trips, volleyball road trips, away games, home games. There's one thing about when you're the best team in your conference, and you're known, like when you come around, when people start whispering like that's the state championship team. That's the team to watch out for. They got the All-American on their team and Sarah Catton. It's like when you have that preceding you and you already know when your season starts, you're going to be in the newspapers. You're going to be in write-ups. You're going to be on Channel 12 Varsity. Like, we was on Channel 12 Varsity so much. You get used to that limelight. Like, there was like one, especially my senior year, my junior and senior year mostly, when I became captain. That whole season in the end of 96 was so surreal. Like, when there's the news coverage at every game, when you're getting write-ups at every game, practice is just on a whole nother level. You get to practice and it's like you're in a room with a superstar, or everybody's on their top game, and it just seems like your whole life is just not where it is. Like, when I'm there, I'm not even on Wooden Road. I can't even fathom Wooden Road at this point. And you got this expectation in your life, like everything is riding on you being at your peak physical performance. You work out harder, you sweat harder, you just have more stamina when you do things, and you don't want it to end. You never want it to fucking end. I remember almost every single newspaper clipping we ran. Almost every single one. I remember the interview with me and Nakia. They finally featured me on the front page with Nakia. And it was like, they found out that we were related, and they were just like, oh, we gotta do a story on the two of you. And I remember it was like right after school, and we both had games that night. I think Nakia had an away game and we had a home game. And I remember they pulled me into my basketball coach's office for the interview. And they asked me a bunch of questions. And I remember saying, you live with Nakia. He's, an All-American. He's being recruited by all these top college schools. How does it affect you? And I remember like sitting there like, like I'm in my own world as it is. Like, I'm still on my volleyball high from the States. I'm still in basketball season. I'm thinking about track. I got a couple of schools looking at me like I was so in my little world. I wasn't even thinking that we have an All-American in the house. Like, we have a possibility to do something great. It wasn't even crossing my mind. I was so in my little plane that I had established, I wasn't even looking. And I remember them asking me a question about Nakia, like, being confident. Like, is he cocky? I was like, it's not cocky. I was like, he's riding this cocky, confident line. Like, he's right on the line where you're doing good and you got it, but you're not, I don't know. I have to pull the article out. But I remember the interview, and I remember the Kobe game when they took a picture of me doing the Q-Dog stance. I don't know why I did that pose. I don't know why I broke out and did the Q-Dog thing that they were doing. I remember it happened at the game. I was so in the moment. You get so excited when the attention is around you. You don't know. You just always expect the attention to be at you. You can't help it. I remember they pulled us in a gym. They had this big ass camera. There was a couple of people there. They told us to put on our home uniforms. And I remember the girls' basketball team and the boys' basketball team, we had team sneakers. Well, it wasn't the same sneaker. The girls' team, we had the pennies. When he was playing for the Orlando Magic, he had these white and royal blue sneakers, and they were by Nike. They were called the pennies. And I remember we said, this is going to be our team sneaker. And at the time, it was $105. 90% of the team had a sneaker. I think 1 or 2 of the players didn't. It was still cool though, because we had those, and Natalie had went and got these stickers, and everybody's nickname was she put on the back of on the back of our sneakers with the stickers. And I remember on the back of my sneakers they had Big Dog, and then my number was 45. Like, everybody had the same thing on the back of the sneaker. And the only reason I could afford to get those sneakers because I had a job. I swear to God, like, I had just got paid that Friday when the team talked about getting those sneakers. And I remember I had cashed my check at Pathmark. And I remember going to the sneaker store. I said, Ma, I got to get these sneakers. And I went there and it was $105. And my mom did not have the money. I said, Ma, I swear to God, if you get these sneakers for me, I'll pay you back. And she was like, how much money do you have? I had like maybe $70 on me. And she was like, oh, okay, it's just $35. And when she gave me the 35, we got the sneakers.